Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show
Hello.
on a Monday.
Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. Pickle. Dateline.
Dateline.
Mexico. The headline, I'm just going to read the headline. I wake up and I like to read the news. That's what I'm a news hound. I'm a news consumer. Mexican president goes viral for claim he has a photo proof. He has photo proof of mythical woodland elf.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to read that again slowly. Mexican president goes viral for claim he has photo proof of mythical woodland elf.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing today. So the president of Mexico, do you know the name of the president of Mexico?
I do not.
Can you name the head of any other country besides the United States right now? Ooh.
Vladimir Putin.
Ah, there you go. Good. For other reasons.
Not necessarily proud of that one, but
Volodymyr Zelensky.
I mean the King of England now the king, not the Queen.
Yeah, King of England. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just changed prime ministers too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they ran out the girl that they wanted to know if she was going to outlast the cabbage.
Yep.
And the cabbage won.
The cabbage did win. She did not last very long at all. Yeah.
No, Justin Trudeau.
Yes.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
We are not good news consumers. Because there was the head prime minister of New Zealand was a relatively famous woman who just resigned too.
Oh yeah, she was cool.
She was very.
We talked about her on the show not too long ago.
I don't know her.
I think the thing that went viral was like her stance on like working.
Yeah.
That it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And we were all like, "Dah!"
Hell yeah, lady. I know Volodymyr Zelensky, who's the guy who's running Ukraine for kind of the other side of that. God, like the president or the head of Scotland just stepped down too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was a woman.
Nice.
Is the Chancellor of Germany, is that still Angela Merkel? I think so.
It's a good question.
We're smart here. Anyway, the president of Mexico is Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador.
Yeah, I would have never gotten
as
that.
You know.
You could have, duh.
It used to be back in when I was paying attention to the news more closely. It was Vicente Fox, and that was easy to remember.
Yeah, that would be
his name
nice.
was Fox.
It's also a lot shorter.
The president of Mexico is going viral after he posted a photo to social media that said he said shows a mythical woodland elf of Mayan folklore. He said, according to traditional Mayan belief, aluxes, A-L-U-X-E-S, are small, mischievous creatures that inhabit forests and fields that are prone to playing tricks on people, like hiding things. Some people leave small offerings to appease them. So I'm going to pull up the tweet here from Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Let's see if we can do this real quick. And you tell me what you think. This is the photo he posted of the... he says, everything is mystical, is what he said on his tweet.
All right.
I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at that. So if you see, there's some sort of creature here. He's got some eyes up here. It does not appear that he was joking. I think he really thinks that this isn't an alux.
All right.
A-L-U-X-E. Everything is todo es místico, is what he says right here. Todo es místico.
All is mystical.
I'm going to be honest. It looks like a monkey.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems right.
I think it's a monkey.
Does it say, like, where he saw this? Because, like, if it's Mayans, then it's going to be in the southern part of Mexico.
Right.
Because they were, like, big Mesoamerica kind of in the lower portion of it. In the Yucatan.
It does not appear that he was joking. The photo of an alleged alux was taken last week by an engineer at a construction site of a new train railway in the Yucatan Peninsula, according to Obrador.
Boom. Yucatan.
The railway is being constructed to transport tourists to and from popular destinations, including Mayan ruins. Somebody wrote that it's a raccoon with a bag on its head.
I mean, a monkey is definitely right, because, like, that's down in the Yucatan Peninsula. That would be down by, like, Honduras-ish, like Belize and all that stuff. I mean, there's tons of wildlife down there.
you know what? I'm going to be honest, and I don't mean to get political here.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need our leaders to start tweeting more wild crap like this. Because this is the kind of stuff we can all unite behind. Is like, I need like the senator from Montana to tweet out just a photo of Bigfoot.
Everything is mythical.
And be like, everything is mystical.
That's like, I don't make the
Dodo
rules.
That's
mystical. Just that's just how
mystical.
It is.
That's what we need. I think we can all unite if like, and I know Jimmy Carter's not doing great right now, but like if Jimmy Carter's account just tweeted out a photo of like a unicorn and he was like, Todo es místico, I'd be like, you know what, Mr. President, you're doing great. If George W. Bush put out a photo of like a, narwhals are real, right? Mm-hmm. What's another mystical creature? Like it's another Mexican chupacabra.
Yes.
If George,
which those are technically real. I
don't think a chupacabra is real.
Well, no, his chupacabra fundamentally no, they definitely are real. They have them at the zoo. They're like but they're not like the big bad mystical legend. Like they got blown out of proportion.
No,
but a chupacabra is
real.
The
chupacabra is a legendary creature in folklore. Yes,
it's a monster.
That's what Wikipedia says.
I think chupacabras are real.
Chupacabra is a popular legend. There's no such thing as a chupacabra, except
there wasn't Scooby-Doo.
Really can't stress enough. Todo es místico. So anyway, I'd like to congratulate our Texas Football Today Viewer of the Week, which is Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Todo es místico, Mr. President. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show that knows that chupacabras are not real.
It's not true.
My name's Greg Tepper. They're mystical.
I'm convinced.
And todo es místico. I'm going to start saying that just... My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places. Or you'll listen to us in the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. Happy Monday. Right? Yeah. Just chugging along. Girls basketball state this week.
I know.
One almost down.
Get excited. Today is Monday, February 27th, 2023. It's 269 days until Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Happy birthday to, golly. Oh, Josh Groban. Josh Groban's 42.
Why do I know that name?
He's a good singer.
Oh.
Like he's got like a baritone voice. You would recognize his voice.
Yeah.
Or let's see. Josh. Or happy birthday to Robby. Golly, it's just a bunch of Instagram and YouTube stars. Oh my gosh, this website is not helping me at the moment.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't have any birthdays that I can think of.
I was going to say happy birthday to Brighton Myler, YouTube star, who is, according to this website, the #1 person on. Ugh, we deserve to be destroyed. Episode 1547.
Maybe the chupacabras will do that.
On today's show, folks, we got a big old show for you.
Yeah.
Including some headlines, including some giant breaking news we've got on TexasFootball.com. We'll talk about that. In the back half of the show, we're going to be joined by the new head coach of the Aledo Bearcats, the defending, reigning 5A Division 1. I got to get used to saying that. 5A Division 1 state champions. The Aledo Bearcats coach Robby Jones, recently promoted from his offensive coordinator position to replace the icon, Tim Buchanan. We'll talk with Coach Jones coming up here.
I don't know if we ever mentioned, too, that they have a new athletic director, too. Did we ever mention that?
I know that we mentioned that. Steve Wood was retiring as well, but I don't know if we mentioned who their new athletic director is, which is
Brandy from the UIL.
Yeah, Brandy from the UIL. So Do you know Brady's last name?
I can't remember Brady's last name.
You've had a long weekend.
I have had a long week.
Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Nick Morton, Tony Blaylock, Daniel Agnew, and Zill0678. Yes. Welcome in, fellas, lady fellas, robots.
I love it. Pickle, let's get some headlines from across the state, and we would be remiss if we didn't start with some breaking news. Stepp reports on TexasFootball.com exclusively that John Kay, the head coach of the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs, is stepping down to join the staff at Rice. That's Rice University. I was thinking for a minute that it would be
Rice
really kind of funny if it was like going to the Rice Bulldogs.
Yep.
But no, he's joining the staff of Mike Bloomgren there at Rice. He is one of the most successful runs in Houston, Texas high school football history, and honestly, all of Texas high school football history.
Oh, yeah.
A four-time state champion, 2015, 2018, 2019, and 2021 at the 6A ranks. And then, of course, led them to another state championship game this past season. He has an amazing 117-18 record in 9 seasons there with those 4 state championships. Matt Stepp spoke with Coach K this morning, and Coach K talked about how he spent his entire adult life at North Shore. He's an East Side guy. He grew up on the East Side as a coach. He said that's home to me. But he's got an opportunity to try something new. He's really excited to join the staff there with Coach Bloomgren. He was a longtime assistant under David Amond before that, and he followed up a legendary coach by exceeding what his mentor did and turning North Shore into,
it's
worst, a top 5 program in Texas high school football right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's,
no doubt.
Like I don't think there's
really. And has been for basically a decade now.
Yeah.
I mean, 2015 is when he started.
2015.
Bumping that. It's 2023. I mean, almost a decade.
Yeah. In his 9 seasons, he has been one of the most successful and decorated coaches in Texas high school football. As for North Shore, they are looking for a coach.
I would be shocked if they didn't promote.
Matt Stepp thinks that it is likely to promote from within.
Yeah.
We're going to chase down that story, but Matt Stepp reporting on TexasFootball.com that John Kay, the head coach of the North Shore Mustangs, is stepping down to join the staff as the linebackers coach at Rice. Pretty good get there for Mike Bloomgren and company. One thing I'm interested in, because, and this is an interesting situation, I think people may be wondering, like, man, why is he going to Rice? Certainly there have been other opportunities to go to the college ranks. And I haven't talked with Coach K about this. I've talked with Coach K before. You can go watch an interview with me and him. But I would have to imagine that Houston is home to him, and this is an opportunity to stay home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's, to me, that it is entirely possible that I'm going to pick a name here, Penn State. That Penn State called him and said, "Hey, why don't you come join the staff here as linebackers coach or something like that?" I mean, he's a defensive guru. Why don't you come join the staff here? And I think based on what we know about him and based on this particular data point, I think the chances are that he would have turned that down.
Yeah, and I think that when you have a coach that has created that much of a foundation and is looked at as one of the best, you're only going to leave for a very small amount of opportunities that fit best for you. And I think that there's no doubt that, yeah, he's definitely turned down stuff in the past, but this fit in every category of what he was looking for.
Big get there for Mike Bloomgren and company, and a big opening there as Galena Park North Shore is open with John Kay leaving to join the staff at Rice.
Step bomb.
Step bomb indeed.
That's a big step bomb.
Step bomb indeed. Let's talk a little bit about some other breaking news that was coming down, that came down last week, and that is from our own Greg Powers. Aaron Hampton. Oh, I'm sorry, we're doing that. I'm sorry, I sent it to you in the wrong order. Oh no, you're right. You got it. I have that wrong. I'll get that next.
I was like, how did Powers break this?
That's on me.
Shout out Powers.
Stephen F. Austin. SFA is looking for a new defense coordinator. Joe Cathan is out as the defensive coordinator. He's leaving to go join the staff at Utah State. That is a pretty big blow there to SFA, but of course moving to the FBS ranks is certainly a big deal there. Corey Hogue, our non-FBS insider, has a great list of five names to keep an eye on for the defensive coordinator search at SFA. I mentioned this on Twitter. I'll say it again. Corey's clued into everyone. Mm-hmm. Corey is pretty clued in at SFA and what goes on there at Nacogdoches. So I would look at that list And
I don't know
if I'm going to say it's gospel,
yeah,
but I think that it gives you a really good feel for what they're looking for, because Corey tends to be pretty locked in as far as what happens down there in Nacogdoches. So keep an eye on that. TexasFootball.com, you can find 5 possible candidates to be the next defensive coordinator at SFA from our own Corey Hogue. Now we can get into the thing that I
shout out
over.
Grev. I didn't mean to take Grev's spotlight away from him.
But this from our own Greg Powers. Greg Powers reporting that Aaron Hampton, a 4-star prospect according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football, ranks number 47 in the DCTF Hot 100, was a star at Dangerfield. He's got more than 25 offers to his name. He's a two-way threat. He had more than 1,100 yards receiving and 14 touchdowns, 74 tackles, 9 interceptions. He was second-team All-State as a junior at Dangerfield. He has transferred to Carthage to join the East Texas Power in the defending 4A Division II state champs under Coach Scott Surratt. That is big news out there in East Texas. Bubba Hampton, the former Texas commit, is now transferring to Carthage, where he will play his senior season. That is big-time news in the high school ranks. Speaking of transfers, bounce back up to the DFW Metroplex, where Reed Watkins, an all-state star at Texas at Brock.
You saw him play in the state championship
Who led them to the 3A Division I state championship game last year. He has transferred and will play his senior season at Fort Worth All Saints. This is, of course, first reported by our friend Mike Roach at 247 Sports. He was a driving force behind their run to the 3A Division I state championship game, earning first-team All-State honors. He had almost 1,900 all-purpose yards, 25 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, a defensive touchdown for the Eagles there in 2022. Fort Worth All Saints is coming off of a state runner-up finish there in TAPS Division II. 7-time private school state champions there at Fort Worth All Saints now get a big boost from Reed Watkins, the two-way star at Brock. So a name to remember there as Fort Worth All Saints gets a little bit stronger. Elsewhere, high school football news from across the state. Prosper. You may remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about how Brandon Schmidt left to go take over at A&M Consolidated. They have found their new guy, and it is a familiar name. Tyler Moore, the offensive coordinator at Prosper, has been promoted to become the new head coach at Prosper. He's been at Prosper for 8 years. He talked with Matt Stepp about this. He has spent the last 7 as the offensive coordinator under Coach Brandon Schmidt, led them to 3 straight regional final appearances from 2019 to 2021. And so, before that, he was a wide receivers coach at Cedar Park. So the new head coach at Prosper is Tyler Moore, promoted from his offensive coordinator position. A name that Texas high school football fans will remember for his exploits on the field. Odell James. Odell James, most recent, he was a star at Aldine Eisenhower. He was, or rather, Aldine MacArthur led them to a championship title game appearance in 1993 as a sophomore. He was an All-American as a senior. He went and played at Baylor after that. He is a Texas high school football legend down there in the Houston area. He is most recently the quarterbacks coach for Duncanville. He is now the head coach at Aldine Eisenhower, where he is going to become the head coach there. He has bounced around through his coaching career. He was on Hal Waston's staff at Corsicana. He then joined Reginald Sample's staff at Duncanville. Before that, he was served as co-offensive coordinator at South Oak Cliff for a minute before he had an opportunity as head coach there at Bruni for 1 season. But Odell James is the next head coach at Aldine Eisenhower, returning to Aldine ISD to take over that particular program. So keep an eye on
you want to talk about a guy that's like learned from some of the best in the time he's been an assistant coach. That's a really impressive resume.
Most certainly. Speaking of Bruni, didn't expect to say that today.
Things you don't expect to hear on a Monday afternoon.
Bruni's open. Richard Johnson has stepped down after 4 seasons, leading the Badgers to a 22-18 record. He announced his resignation. I've not had follow-up on this. I'll need to talk with our non-FBS insider Corey Hogue about this, but there were multiple sources indicating to us that he was going to join the staff at Incarnate Word. We'll find out more about that, but we do know that Bruni is open, as Richard Johnson has stepped down after 4 seasons, potentially join the staff at Incarnate Word.
It's an exceptional. So I have to. This is worth it. That's an exceptional Badger.
It is a good Badger.
It's a really good Badger.
Good Badger.
Continue.
Troy's open. Stephen Hermsmeyer has announced that he is resigning after 2 seasons. He's saying family reasons. He said he wants to spend more time with his kids. He has his principal certification, and his wife's a counselor. So he said it's time for me to follow her around for a while. She's followed me around for a while. They went 4-16 in Coach Hermsmeyer's span there. Before that, he was head coach at Winters Comanche, and Comanche is an 88-80 overall record. So Troy is open down there in Central Texas. New Braunfels Canyon has made a hire, and it is it's an internal hire, but it's a name you might recognize. Nate Leonard has been promoted from the offensive coordinator position to be the new head coach at New Braunfels Canyon. You may remember that he was a former all-conference offensive lineman there at all-conference offensive lineman at UTSA before that span. He was an exceptional leader there and big-time part of kind of the build there at UTSA. He's been the offensive coordinator there for the Cougars for the last 2 seasons under Coach Travis Bush. You may remember, left to go be the new head coach at UTRGV, the new program down there. So Leonard, who is a McKinney guy, played ball at McKinney, but he's very familiar with San Antonio after playing there in 2011 through 2014. So Nate Leonard, the new head coach there at New Braunfels Canyon. Finally, LaGrange has made a hire. LaGrange has hired Ponder head coach Kyle Cooper to be their next head coach. He's been a head coach for 14 seasons overall, and he was at Gatesville before he was at Ponder, before he was at Ponder, he was also on the staff at Mount Vernon. He went 2 seasons there at Ponder, went 7-13, now becoming the new head coach there at LaGrange. He spoke with Matt Stepp on TexasFootball.com about that. So there, you can go on TexasFootball.com and read up all the coaching changes and all the Texas high school football news. We got news breaking all the time on TexasFootball.com. It's a big time of year. Mm-hmm. A lot of things popping. I just want to tell you that on Friday we told you, hey, keep an eye on TexasFootball.com over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Didn't come down over the weekend, but it did come down Monday morning.
Yep.
So we got big news popping on TexasFootball.com. Hope you will check that out. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Now, a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline. There's a lot of coaching changes flying around the state of Texas right now. One of them, one of the biggest ones, happened out there in Parker County recently as the Aledo Bearcats have a new head man in charge. Let's go out to Parker County and talk with the head coach of the Aledo Bearcats. We're joined by Coach Robby Jones. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to chat with us. Congratulations, first and foremost, on the new gig. Has it all settled in quite yet that you're going to be the head coach of the Aledo Bearcats?
It really hasn't. I think once we start spring football, maybe that will settle in. But Coach Buchanan's still around, and see him. Whenever he's here, he's not here every day, but not a whole lot has changed here.
And certainly not a whole lot should change. Things are going pretty well there at Aledo, I would say. I'm interested, whenever you got the official word, and I know you've been there for a while. You've been a key part of what has been this dynasty there at Aledo. But when you got the word that you were going to be the next head coach at Aledo, taking over for Coach Tim Buchanan, what was your initial reaction?
I was real hesitant of whether or not it was actually going to happen. I've been here for 23 years, the last 14 as offensive coordinator, and when Buck came back and people were asking me, well, is he ever going to retire? And I was like, you know what? I think I would probably retire before Coach Buchanan. So, it's been one of those things where, I didn't know if it would ever happen, but, now that it has, we're planning on nothing really changing as far as, the schemes and the work ethic. And that's what we told the kids the first day when it was announced that, nothing is going to change on our daily basis. We're going to continue to work and try to outwork everybody that's on our schedule and everybody throughout the state of Texas. But
that's a great point because, you guys this is one of the most decorated program, the most decorated program in Texas high school football. You guys are reigning state champs. Things are going pretty well. And yet, it is now your program. You're taking over as the head coach. How do you balance taking over a program that certainly ain't broke, and so you certainly don't need to fix it, while still kind of putting your own stamp on it? How do you balance that?
Right, and that's the thing is we're not going to try to change anything. The program is running fine the way it is. We'll look to improve. We'll go out and we'll go visit some college coaches. See if there are things that we can add to our system that will make us better. But you hit it. We're not changing. We're going to stay with the same philosophy as far as offense and defense is concerned. As far as my own stamp, I feel like I've put my stamp on the offense the last 14 years, and I don't think that I really need to come in and do anything, as the head coach to make any big changes.
Talking with Robby Jones, the head coach of the Aledo Bearcats here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Coach, I want to ask you about the guy that you're taking over from in Tim Buchanan. You've worked under him now for 14 years, as you've mentioned. I am curious from your perspective what you're going to take from him. We hear all the time that coaches are just they are products of the coaches that they learn under. What are you going to take from Tim Buchanan and apply to your coaching career?
I'm going to listen to my assistants. That was something that he was good at. And I'm going to hire good assistants. I have one coaching position now with Coach Buchanan leaving, and we have a position, and he's always says, he's going to hire good coaches. If you don't have a good support staff, that doesn't make you a very good head football coach. And that's what I'm out looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's going to be a really good teacher in the classroom as well as on the field. And those are things that he always talked about. And he talked to us as assistants that we have to be great teachers. And so, I'm out looking right now for a really good teacher to fit in with our staff and add to us and make us better.
Another guy that is going to retire at the same time is another guy that you coached under, in Steve Wood. Steve Wood, of course, a longtime athletic director and a very successful coach in his own right as well. Kind of the same question. What are you going to what stands out about Coach Wood that you're going to kind of apply to your own coaching style?
Coach Wood's a great guy. I've worked with him for over 20 years as well. I think just his work ethic. He was a grinder. He was going to watch more film than anybody on the staff and make sure that he was prepared and he knew, everything that the opponent was going to do. That's one of the things that he said that I was going to get more time to be able to do, without having to be in the classroom all the time like I was. That he said, just get in there and watch video and study your opponent and be better each and every day on that.
Let me just ask bluntly about pressure. This is, as you mentioned, this is the most decorated program in Texas high school football. You're taking over for two guys who've got a lot of rings on their fingers. You got rings on your finger yourself as an offensive coordinator. Is there pressure to win there at Aledo?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of pressure to win in Aledo. Especially with those two guys retiring. And of course they've been the face of the program for the last 30 years. It's either been Buck or Wood. So there's a lot of pressure to continue with the standards that we have here, and that's what we're going to do is live up to those standards. Now, we are a growing community, so we're going to be for sure 5A one more year, and I don't know the exact numbers that we have attendance-wise right now, but we're going to be pushing 6A next go-around, which is going to make it even more difficult on us.
You certainly are, and yet next year you guys are going to be playing. They're 5A Division I. They're defending 5A Division I state champs. It's been about, Coach, it's been more than 2 months since you guys have won a state championship, so it's time to start looking ahead to 2023.
We did that, first day of off season. We got back from Christmas break. We told them, hey, that was last year's team that won that state championship. Now you got to go make your mark.
Do you have a feel quite yet on what this 2023 team is going to look like, maybe compared to that 2022 team?
You know what? I think we're going to be a pretty good football team. We have 7 starters returning on offense, so we should be a little stronger coming out of the gate than we were last year offensively. We did lose some key figures on offense. We lost our 2 starting offensive tackles and our 2 slot receivers. One of those receivers, Jalen Pope, who had a heck of a game in the state championship game. We're going to have to find somebody to replace him as a playmaker. But offensively, we should be a little ahead of the game. Where we're going to be a little further behind this year than when we started out last year is on defense. We lost our entire defensive front. All 4 starters on the defensive line are gone, as well as our 2 outside linebackers. The strength of our defense next year should be our secondary, where we return all 4 starters. 2 of those guys are getting lots of Division I offers right now, and then our middle linebacker, Devon Keys. He's one of the best linebackers we've ever had come through our program, and we're looking at him for a lot of leadership.
And finally, Coach, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that offensive coordinator has not been the only hat that you've worn there at Aledo. You've also been the head track coach for quite a while. And we hear all the time from coaches about if you want to run the ball in the fall, you got to run the ring in the spring. How important has the track program been to the success that you guys have had there at Aledo?
You know what? We preach that. We tell our kids every day that track is part of our football program. It is our speed development. And for us to have the team speed to go play with the guys from Fort Bend Marshall, for instance, they're state champions in track, and we got to go play against those guys. We've got to train to be able to run with them out on the football field. And track is a big part of it. Our kids, every one of them showed up this morning at 6:45 to run track. And then we went into our off-season program after that. So track is a big part of our program. We preach it. We tell everybody throughout the state when they come ask us about our program that one of the things that we make sure happens in the spring is every one of our kids is on the track running. Even our offensive linemen, they were all here this morning. We only make them come twice a week to run, and then we allow them to go throw the shot and the discus, after that. But they show up on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they get their running in to try and make them faster and be able to move better. But, it's a very important part of our program.
He's Robby Jones. He's the new head coach of the Aledo Bearcats. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the new gig, and can't wait to see your Bearcats in the fall.
All right, thank you.
There he goes. Robby Jones, head coach of the Aledo Bearcats. Join us here at Texas Football today. I'm going to be honest, that's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
Great guy. Excited to see him. Obviously, he's been a huge – it's interesting. We have a piece up from 2019 I found on our site that basically has like an interview we did with Tim Buchanan, basically saying Robby Jones is our secret weapon. Like that's the guy that nobody talks about in our program is Robby Jones. He's been so important to what we do. And but it's it's going to take me some getting used to.
Oh, it's the same. I mean, we literally in one day today have broken the news that John Kay is leaving North Shore and now spoke with the new Aledo head coach. You wanted to, like, there are certain programs that the turnover rate is pretty high, and so you have to kind of keep up to date on that. And then there's ones that you just say without even thinking about it. That's one of those.
Yeah, most certainly. I will slip up.
That will get me at one point.
I will say Aledo coach Tim Buchanan at some point over the course of the season.
And then hit him with
and
a
then I'll be
nay.
like, no, Robby Jones. And it's just going to take a minute, but it's really interesting that, I mentioned pressure, and he's like, yeah, absolutely there's pressure. This is Aledo. We better win.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what Coach Jones does out there at Aledo. We appreciate his time today. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
I guess a programming note real fast while we're doing this. There will not be a show on Thursday. Yeah. There will not be a TFT nor a WTF on Thursday. So
is that when
Thursday.
Is that when your trial starts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm out. For good.
Yeah. I know you didn't do it, but I'm not on the jury.
This is true.
So
good,
you will be
because
back
or else I would definitely be incarcerated at that point.
You're back Friday, though, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Jury's still out.
So to speak. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Robby Jones, the head coach of the Aledo Bearcats, for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.